everybody, and welcome to the Reason to Hope virtual gala for the Alzheimer's Association Illinois chapter. I am Paul Lisnek from WGN TV. I cover politics there, and I host Political Report on Sunday mornings. And most important to me are the causes that matter to me that I can help out in some way. Look, I think it's part of the responsibilities that come along with being in a public light. But this cause, the fight against Alzheimer's, could not be closer to my heart. Personally, I lost my mother to this battle on June 16th, 2018, and now I have a close cousin who's battling it as well. If you joined us a bit early, you saw some of the statistics. More than 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's between 2000 and 2018, and deaths from Alzheimer's increasing 146%. Look, this isn't the way we expected to get together. We were going to get together in person, as has been done in previous years. I was looking forward to seeing all of you as MC, but we are grateful for the opportunity to connect with you this way virtually. And we thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us for what we hope is going to be an inspiring and educational program about this terrible disease. Look, we know this is a tough time. COVID-19 continues to affect the health, well-being of millions around the world, in our own country as well, and it presents unique challenges for more than 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, the more than 16 million caregivers who provide them with unpaid care. Given the impact, the Alzheimer's Association needs your help more than ever before. You may not know, maybe you do, but November is Alzheimer's Disease Awareness and Family Caregivers Month, and we are so grateful that you are here with us as we honor all those living with the disease and their dedicated caregivers. At any point during the program, please share in the comments who you are honoring today, and if at any point you're inspired to make a gift to support the efforts of the Alzheimer's Association, you can do that. Just go to reasontohope20.givesmart.com or text Reason to Hope 20 to 76278. That's Reason to Hope 20 to 76278. The information is in the comments section on your screen as well. Before we get started, just want to give a special shout out and thank you to our event co-chairs, Doug London, Marty Wilke. We are incredibly grateful to you both for your continued leadership and dedication. And Marty, I've known you for so long, it's great. I'd also like to thank our event sponsors for the continued partnership. Gold sponsor is the Chicago Blackhawks. Silver sponsors, the Claire and Levenfeld Pearlstein LLC. Bronze sponsors, Artist Senior Living of Lakeview, and the Raymond Group and Vision, as well as our very generous host committee members. Thank to all of you for your support. Finally, I want to acknowledge our table hosts. Thank you for continuing to invite your friends, your family to this important event today as we raise critical awareness and funds for Alzheimer's care, support, and research. As you will see in the following video, there has never been a more critical time for us to come together as a community and support the Alzheimer's Association. Here are the latest facts on the Alzheimer's crisis. Well, although we are not together in person, we know that something that's been very important to everybody is to allow you to share some time virtually into the tables. I know that every year, for those of you who attend this or have attended before, we give you time to get together and chat as a table. In just a few minutes, you'll be invited into the breakout room where you will have the opportunity to connect with others who are here today and are also passionate about ending this disease. I was noting the tributes coming up during that video. People who are here on behalf of a mother, a sister. It's beautiful and sad. Please use this time to meet each other, share why you are joining us in the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia. After 10 minutes, you'll be invited back for the rest of the program. So we'll begin our 10-minute breakout sessions. Thank you. Again, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had an opportunity to maybe meet some new people and realize, beyond anything else, no one is alone in this fight, to be sure. To teach you a little bit more, to show you a little bit more, to impact you a little bit more, please enjoy this video.
The burden of Alzheimer's and dementia on individuals and families continues to grow. More Americans are living with the disease. In fact, there are 5.8 million seniors age 65 or over living with Alzheimer's currently, and by 2050, that number is expected to nearly triple to 13.8 million. These are my friends. These are my family. This could be me, or it could be you. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, the 5th leading cause for people over 65, and for women of any age. Alzheimer's as a cause of death is becoming more common, increasing by 146% between the years 2000 and 2018 with the aging population. As the number of people living with Alzheimer's continues to increase, primary care physicians on the front lines of diagnosing and providing dementia care say the medical profession is not prepared to meet the expected increase in demands. Individuals and families impacted by Alzheimer's and other dementias already face enough challenges. Having access to doctors providing quality and timely dementia care shouldn't be another. It destroys the security of families and depletes millions of dollars annually from family and government budgets. Alzheimer's is a family disease. It's not just the person with Alzheimer's who's affected, it's also the caregivers and loved ones. Caring for someone with Alzheimer's disease negatively affects the caregiver's health, employment, income, and financial security. That's nothing compared to the human cost. The toll it takes watching a loved one slowly disappear. Believe me, I know this personally. But there is hope. The Alzheimer's Association is here every day to help families like mine and like yours. With a 24/7 helpline available in more than 200 languages, care consultation, support groups, and education programs for those living with the disease and their care partners. Since 1980, the Illinois chapter has provided reliable information on Alzheimer's and other dementias, created support services for families, increased funding for dementia research, and influenced public policy changes across the state. The Illinois chapter serves the nearly 1 million Illinois residents affected by Alzheimer's disease, including 230,000 people with the disease throughout our chapter area. The Alzheimer's Association is committed to working with physicians, health systems, and policymakers to develop strategies and solutions that ensure dementia care is available to all who need it. There is a 24/7 helpline, 800-272-3900. The Alzheimer's Association is here for you, day or night. Look, this cause is very personal to me. I lost my mother to Alzheimer's after years of watching her decline and watching the cost not only on her, but on family members and caregivers. Look, my family's story is every family's story. We want to share one with you. Let's take a look.
I would like to tell you about my mom, my rock, my teacher, my hero. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease when she was 62 years old. The disease crept up on her like a thief in the night, robbing our family of her vibrant spirit and our community of a well-respected and loved Superior Court judge. When Mom's Alzheimer's made its uninvited appearance, the signs were subtle. She struggled to remember a name, would lose a train of thought, or give a confusing instruction from the bench. The court bailiff, a trusted family friend, kept me informed of what he called her heartbreaking deterioration. As the months passed and her cognitive skills declined, my beautiful mom was forced to retire. The career that she knew and loved was no longer possible. We were about to embark on a new journey infused with the unknown. So many emotions flooded my senses on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. When looking at family photos with my mom, I felt happy, hopeful, and heartbroken all at once. As she spoke, I tried to sear into my memory her gentle voice, telling me of my great-grandparents' amazing immigration from Italy. She laughed as she recalled how her great-aunt Teresa made my mom's confirmation dress from her old wedding dress. I struggled to remember everything she said. I was now becoming the guardian of all these precious memories. One incident really brought her illness home to me. I went to our refrigerator, and when I looked inside, I found my mom's wallet and keys on the middle shelf. How could this happen? It was real now. I was losing her. That was the first time I really felt alone and afraid. My vibrant, loving mom was becoming the child. I knew that this disease was progressive, but I was not prepared. And I was certainly not prepared for the next day when my mom showed us that this disease would not only scare us, but send us into a full-blown panic. The next afternoon, I was making my mom's favorite pasta in the kitchen with my daughter. I heard the front door open. Since it was around the time our mail was delivered, I assumed my mom was going out to the mailbox. She still enjoyed her familiar routine. But after a few minutes, I realized that I didn't hear her come back in. I ran to the door and looked toward the mailbox. She was gone. I later found out that she had become confused at the mailbox and began to wander down the street. She had just disappeared. I ran wildly in all directions, yelling for her. No response, no clue where she went. My heart was in my throat. I grabbed my daughter and a flashlight. I knew from my Alzheimer's research that she might try to seek shelter somewhere. So we searched every parked car, front and back, looking for her. The clock was ticking. The hour she was lost felt like an eternity. Finally, we found her. I felt relief, frustration, and guilt all at once. We climbed into the back seat and held her for a moment. I told myself that whatever did lie ahead, we would get through this together. My mom loved to knit. She said it kept her mind occupied and helped her de-stress from the hectic days in court. She was able to hold on to that skill until the end stages of her disease, and she also liked to attend workshops that were sponsored through the Alzheimer's Association. Mom became homebound, then knitting soon became very difficult for her, and at some point, our conversations became one-sided. But I knew her favorite thing in the world was coming soon. Christmas was in the air. Growing up, my mom was Christmas personified. We would start decorating the tree before Thanksgiving and put up beautiful wreaths that she and Grandma had made together. Mom was a great cookie baker. She would make gingerbread cookies and we would eat them until we made ourselves sick. Then we would start on the sugar cookies. And the music. We loved Christmas music. Singing out loud and off-key was our thing. That was my mom. I was so blessed to be her daughter. So her slipping away from me, her losing that twinkle in her eyes, the fading sound of her voice, all of it. Heartbreak was here and about to swallow me whole. But I knew I was lucky to have had it. All of it. Mom slipped away from us peacefully last month in her chair, doing what she enjoyed. I will always remember the lessons she taught me and the example and the standards that she set. Gentle and firm, welcoming everyone with a warm smile. She was one of a kind. Moving forward, I'm trying to be the fighter Mom would want me to be. She's with me every day. I see her beauty in my daughter's smile, and I hear her joy in a stranger's laugh. And when I imagine her in a garden, at peace, I have faith and hope for the Alzheimer's cure. There really is hope for those who suffer from Alzheimer's. I want to share with you now why I feel so hopeful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Carrillo, Chief Science Officer for the Alzheimer's Association. I'm so pleased to have this opportunity to thank all of you for the support you have given to the Alzheimer's Association. I myself have been personally affected by both Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, and on behalf of my family, I want to thank all of you for everything that you do every day to advance our cause. The Alzheimer's Association is the only organization that works tirelessly every day to address Alzheimer's and all dementias across multiple factors, including research, including advocating for increases for federal dollars, advocating for increased education and support, and doing our own providing of care and support across the country for those with this disease and their families. We are the world's largest nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's and dementia research, and we're the nonprofit with the highest impact in Alzheimer's worldwide. The momentum due to your support and due to committed individuals like yourselves is why we are where we are today. This is a time of unprecedented promise in the race to end Alzheimer's and all dementia. We are growing in philanthropic support, fostering a dynamic scientific community that we need in order to get these answers, and securing increased federal funding to ensure that they stay working really hard on their great ideas. The dramatic expansion of federal funding in Alzheimer's research is due in large part to the Alzheimer's Association and to our sister organization, the Alzheimer's Impact Movement, to the tune of $2.8 billion available today, 4 times what it was just 5 years ago. And this is what will propel us to that acceleration. Importantly, and in addition to that, federal funding, we still require philanthropic dollars to advance high-risk and high-reward research projects that will feed that scientific pipeline. And that's what the Alzheimer's Association does, because no stone can be left unturned. Our active commitment is over $200 million to more than 590 active projects in 31 countries spanning 6 continents. Our reach is huge. To capitalize and sustain on the momentum generated with all of this great research, we ourselves, as an organization, are committed to doubling our research investment in the next 5 years. The research community is full of hope right now, and we finally have the resources to explore all of those multiple pathways that have been neglected before. We ourselves in the association are looking at repurposing drugs that are currently being used for HIV, organ donation, and cancer, and we're examining how they might be able to work in Alzheimer's and dementia. We are looking at how the brain uses energy and clears out that cellular garbage. We're exploring how inflammation plays a role in the disease process and how we can stop it. And the Alzheimer's Association has played a role in almost every scientific advancement that we hear about today, including our early funding of brain amyloid imaging with PET scans to define one of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's, amyloid plaques, in the brains of people living with Alzheimer's today, which before this was unprecedented and unheard of. And now this amyloid PET scan is being used in multiple clinical studies, and it has been used to advance clinical trials today. 10 years ago, I would have also told you that blood tests for Alzheimer's was the work of science fiction. But today, while it's not yet in your doctor's office, we're closer than ever in working with doctors to try to develop this early detection technology in blood, and perhaps maybe only 5 years away from being in your clinic. We also have more evidence today that you can take steps to reduce your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. The US Pointer study is exploring the benefits of risk reduction to slow memory decline as we age, and Chicagoland is one of the study locations. We know today that risk reduction consists of a recipe of lifestyle interventions that include cardiovascular health, but also, of course, diet and exercise and staying cognitively and socially active. With this study, we're hopeful that we will have the hard evidence and the recipe that we need to recommend specific things to our public. There's so much exciting science and research happening that I encourage you to keep up with all of this through the Alzheimer's Association's Hub app. It's an app that you can download wherever you get your apps, and it is so exciting to get alerts on what's happening in the news. So check it out. Again, I want to share with you that this is an unprecedented time in research, thanks to what all of you do every day. We are relentless in our pursuit of a cure, and we will leave no stone unturned to accomplish our goal. Thank you for what you do every day.
Thank you, Dr. Carrillo. Before I introduce our next guest, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to the amazing Mark Roscoe, who produced that video. I find it very tough to watch certainly the portion of that video with the story without it bringing back memories and tears to my eyes. Mark Roscoe is a very well-known fashion designer internationally. And I know he's good because his company's name is Mark Roscoe Couture. And when you use the word couture, you got to be good. But he produced that video for the association. It was just an amazing job. And Mark, I thank you. It is my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Christy Tangney. Dr. Tangney is a professor in the departments of clinical nutrition and preventive medicine at Rush University Medical Center and the lead investigator for the US Pointer study. Well, Dr. Tangney, we heard Dr. Carrillo talk about the US Pointer study, and we come to you. This is great. So let me invite you to tell us a little bit about exactly what the US Pointer study is, how you got involved.
Exactly. I just want to clarify one thing. The US Pointer study is a national study, and there are 5 different sites. And I'm the lead investigator for the Chicagoland site, but our Wake Forest colleagues are the lead for the entire event with the generous support and scientific support of individuals like Dr. Schneider and Dr. Carrillo. So this study would not have occurred if it hadn't been for the Alzheimer's Association. And that says a whole lot because this is a lifestyle intervention. This is not a drug intervention. And that's, I think, the most important thing that we have to understand, because unfortunately, many of the drugs thus far have not panned out to be effective in Alzheimer's. And what I think is a very strong belief now that there is, in fact, some good evidence that has occurred in Europe that has actually shown that lifestyle can improve brain health. And for that very reason, I believe the Alzheimer's Association and their many fundings of 590 different projects decided we need to translate this to the American population. And, the Americans are very different than the Finns. The kinds of exposures, the kind of diet, the kind of exercise capabilities, our environment, our climate is so different that how do we know what may have worked so wonderfully in a 2-year trial in Finland is going to work here?
Well, let me ask you, what are the lifestyle factors that we are studying here?
Okay, the most important, well, there are actually a host of them. The very important ones are physical activity. So what this particular trial tries to give individuals who are randomized to one of 2 different groups how to practice better physical activity aerobically, balance-wise, as well as strength training. So tools to do that. The second component that's rolled out, and each one of these are rolled out systematically typically, is diet. We have a series of very skilled dietitians who facilitate, along with our Alzheimer navigators, to make it easier to adopt a healthier diet. After years and years of us probably being exposed to fast foods and lots of rather unhealthy foods, we have to retrack ourselves, if you will. And this is a great opportunity to do that. Then on top of that, there are the base of a lot of this is building teams so that we have social networks and cognitive brain activities that we can do so that we are continually being active and challenging ourselves. One of the great beauties is to say that we can still learn new things. We can, no matter what age group we are, we can still continue to learn. And so fostering that in an environment is a wonderful opportunity. And one of the great things about Pointer, I think, is the fact that these skills will be transferable beyond the trial. It's something that's going to facilitate greater investment in your own health and the investment in your health of your family members. So I think it's a win-win.
Let's clarify, because as you said, this is a national study, but Chicago was selected as one of the study sites. I'm guessing it partly had to do with the diversity in the city.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that was one of the things, because Americans, we are diverse. We are a land of immigrants. So we need to understand what works in different groups and how we may benefit the best from different cultures, particularly when we talk about food. I think of food as one of the great things that Americans have. We have a diverse food culture, but let's maximize the healthfulness of that food culture. And by being in teams, a lot of these participants get an opportunity to share with one another, which is a great thing.
So how many people will be in the Chicago study? Where do the numbers currently stand? I mean, I guess I'm thinking we're talking to a lot of Chicago people here. If somebody wants to participate, can they still do that?
Oh, absolutely. We have just started recruiting. We have 2 sites primarily where we start, and that is where we do most of the cardiovascular measurements, where we do physical measurements, and we do all that screening. One is Rush Oak Park. And then my partner is also at Advocate Park Ridge. And we did that partnership because we can reach all over the Chicagoland area. And we are slotted to recruit 400 individuals. So we're hoping our Advocate colleagues will recruit 200, and we will recruit 200. Right now at Rush, we just restarted since the pandemic, and we're doing it very slowly. Almost everything is done virtually, except for these moments where you come into the clinic. And of course, with as Rush would be, as Advocate would be, we have an extensive cleaning. Everyone's wearing masks. So we try to ensure the safety of all our participants. We even randomized now 30 individuals. I think we're up to 30 exactly right now.
Can I ask you, we have a moment. So who qualifies? What are the credentials to get into the study?
Well, the first most important is the age. We want individuals between 60 and 79. So that's number one. Number two, we hope, not that it's important for your own health, but we hope that you present with a relatively sedentary lifestyle so that this intervention actually has an impact and improvement so that we actually see change, right? And so that's an important factor. The other is that you present with a relatively poor diet, which for many Americans, I have to say, is not a tough call. So both sedentary and diet is not a tough call. And then present with a host of factors that we put into a formula that puts you at higher risk for developing dementia. So all these things that we've talked about, age, diet, physical activity, and a host of factors, having family members who have dementia, presenting with slightly elevated blood pressure, presenting with blood sugars that are slightly elevated. All those other comorbidities or chronic diseases enhance your risk of dementia. And so for that reason, we want to enrich our population with those who might best benefit from this 2-year trial.
Sadly, I met so many of those credentials, I'm terrified. But for people who want to sign up or see if they are qualified, can you give us? Is it a website? How do a call? Who do we go to?
Oh, absolutely. So if you go to Alzheimer's or alz.org US pointer, US dash pointer. You can go to that. At Rush, you can simply email us at pointer@rush.edu. At Advocate, we can go to lgh.uspointer@advocatehealth.com. I can also give you two numbers if you want, whichever.
Right.
The numbers for Rush is 708-660-6463. At Advocate, either one would be great, 847-720-6467.
Dr. Christy Tangney, thank you so much for that information. I'm sure we triggered a lot of interest in that today. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much. We all do.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
And now please join me in welcoming the Alzheimer's Association Region 9 leader and executive director of the Illinois chapter, Delia Jervier.
Thank you, Paul and Dr. Tangney. This study gives us so much hope in our ability to prevent cognitive decline. During the global pandemic, families dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia have a much steeper path in caregiving. How do you care for someone who may not understand the basic concepts of washing your hands or standing 6 feet apart, or might be frightened when they see people wearing masks? At this time, we encourage you to share in the chat how you as a family have coped during this pandemic. We at the Illinois chapter and throughout the association utilize this time to reinvent our programs and services for families and caregivers. Support groups and care consultations are now being held by phone or video conference. Education programs and research conferences have also made the switch to virtual and are offered free of charge. We were able to make these changes quickly, and we have been gratified that our offerings have been very well received and well attended, in some cases better attended virtually than face-to-face. Thousands of Illinois advocates have mobilized virtually, calling upon their lawmakers to protect those living with dementia during the COVID-19 pandemic. As our loved ones in long-term care have been impacted particularly hard, the Alzheimer's Association released comprehensive and vital recommendations for those residential settings, and the Illinois chapter is working with the current administration and our state legislators to make the care and safety of those with Alzheimer's a top priority. The association priority legislation, the Promoting Alzheimer's Awareness to Prevent Elder Abuse Act, which would improve elder abuse training specifically on dementia, has passed the House and Senate. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, legislation like this is even more necessary since there may be increased risk for elder abuse, including elder financial exploitation. Of course, our 24/7 helpline, where master's level counselors are available to talk day and night, remain a lifeline for those in crisis or just looking for information. With all that has changed this year, please know the Alzheimer's Association will continue to be here for you until the day when we can see the end of Alzheimer's disease and all dementia. I'm pleased now to introduce you to Jim Butler, who is living with Alzheimer's, and his wife, Lisa.
Hello, my name is Jim Butler. I'm 72 years old. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago and have spent the bulk of my career in the addictions treatment field. My partners and I operated treatment programs in Detroit and Chicago, and I also did a fair amount of residential property development in both states. 6 years ago, I retired, and I was excited about the opportunities of retirement. More golf, hanging out with longtime friends, more time with my son and his family and my wife, even though I'm not so sure she was excited about my retirement. But then in 2016, I was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment. And a later diagnosis, the change into Alzheimer's disease. I had started to experience some cognitive issues, frequent forgetfulness, tasks that I've done many times before became confusing. I'm a guy, so I would reflect on that and quickly dismiss it. But as these episodes continued to occur, I started reflecting on them in a different way. And in the back of my mind, I was worried that there was something going wrong. You see, my dad had Alzheimer's. I had a situation that was extremely frustrating for me at the Apple store. I went home and I spoke with my wife about what I had been experiencing and that I probably needed to get into and get myself checked out. After being referred by my internist to a neurologist, a lot of cognitive testing, a lumbar tap, and an MRI, we were told that the tap showed that I had the amyloid and tau biomarkers that are present in Alzheimer's disease. As you can imagine, Lisa and I were both brokenhearted and frankly frightened. Over the next few months, we pretty much just put one foot in front of the other, trying to be strong for each other. But in all honesty, we weren't really doing a too good of job at that. And then a while later, the neurologist reached out to us to come back in and talk about what was available to us to help us manage the diagnosis. One of the recommendations was to engage with a cognitive therapist, which I did pretty quickly. She helped me by giving me tools, telling me that my iPhone would become my best friend, and suggesting to help, and suggested that it would help with the fears that I was having. This was the first step for me in accepting my diagnosis and learning how to live with it. Looking back, it was a pivotal point for me, in that I realized that I still had a life to live. I started therapy with a psychologist. I engaged in just about anything one could engage in Chicago related to Alzheimer's disease. I entered into a clinical trial at Northwestern, and I've just finished my second clinical trial, and I'm currently enrolled to begin another one in January. But the single most important thing that has helped me in the past 4 years is being involved in support groups. For me, the best possible way to work through this diagnosis is to be able to interact with folks just like myself, people who are putting one foot in front of the other and dealing with the daily challenges of dementia. At that point, I hadn't really shared my diagnosis with friends or with family. I didn't want people to feel sorry and look at me in a funny, different way. You see, at that time, I was dealing with the stigma that dementia brings. I was invited to speak at an Alzheimer's association. That experience was pivotal for me. It relieved me of the self-imposed burden that I was carrying around, and I started sharing my diagnosis with family and friends. Sometimes those experiences were heartwarming and touching. Other times, they were a little difficult, awkward. I get it. Some people don't know how to respond, but I've gotten pretty good at easing their comfort. But at the end of the day, the responses are not really what matters. What matters is that I'm no longer afraid to say, hey, I have some memory issues. Can you please slow down for me? Or can you explain that to me one more time? I've changed in many ways, with most of them being positive. I would never have thought that 4 years after I received my diagnosis that I would be where I am right now. I received the best health care. I take medications that help slow down the process. I've been in the National Office of the Alzheimer's Association Early Stage Advisory Group for the past year. And I have a network of some pretty amazing people in my life. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the future. I try and stay in the moment. I practice mindfulness and I enjoy my life with Lisa and all my friends and family. This life of mine actually has seemed to get a lot sweeter in many ways. Sure, I deal with the invasion of dementia loss every day and multiple times a day, but I've gotten pretty good at recognizing and disarming the frustrations that comes with that. And I have hope that there will be a drug discovered that will stop this disease in its path. Hope that my decline will continue going ever so slowly as it has been. And I hope that my efforts will help someone else now and in the future. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah. Hello, mother, remember me. Take my hand and I'll help you see. You held me as a baby, so tender. I'll help you remember. Hey there, Dad, can you recall picking me up 'cause I was just too small? Hanging the angel on the top of the tree in December. I'll help you remember. And I will never forget every moment, every second. I'll never forget how you loved me, how you kept me, all the memories that you've given me. Nothing can compare. And I will never forget. I'll always remember. To all my loved ones I hold so dear. Everyone's gone, but I'm still here, trying my best to find the parts of me that's familiar. I want to remember. Caregiver, be patient with me, yeah. So much has changed, it's so confusing. But day after day, it's you that I see, so genuine, helping me remember back when. How could I ever forget every moment, every second? I'll never forget how you loved me, how you kept me, all the memories that you've given me. Nothing can compare, and I will never forget. I'll always remember. I'll always remember.
That always gets me. I'm just gonna break from script for a minute and hope you can all hear me. Yes. Thank you, Jim and Lisa, for sharing your story with us today. I had the good fortune of meeting you in Florida last year with all of the community leaders, and your story is truly inspiring to me and so many others today, and truly is a reason to hope. So thank you. And thank you to Opal Staples for the incredible song and for that moving tribute. My name is Marty Wilke. I'm proud to be serving as co-chair for the Reason to Hope today, along with Doug London. And although we're not able to be together in person as planned, Doug and I want to personally thank all of our sponsors, our table hosts, and each of you for joining us today and for your continued dedication and support. I continue to support the Alzheimer's Association because my family's been impacted by the disease. And though my dad lost his battle to Alzheimer's in 2013, I'm determined to continue to fight on behalf of my family and so many families like mine until we achieve our goal of a world without Alzheimer's. And now I'll turn it over to Doug.
Thanks, Marty, and thanks to each of you for being here today and for supporting this important work. As a longtime supporter of the Alzheimer's Association, first as a founding member of the chapter junior board, and now as a proud public policy advocate, I support the Alzheimer's Association in memory of my grandfather, Bill Stein, who passed away in 2007, and in honor and support of my husband, Matt's grandmother, Edie London, who is currently living with the disease. As you've heard throughout the program today, families facing Alzheimer's and dementia continue to need our support now more than ever. We know this can be a challenging time, but Alzheimer's disease doesn't stop, so we can't either. If you are able, please join Marty and me and make a gift today so the Alzheimer's Association can continue to accelerate critical research and provide 24/7 support during this global emergency and beyond. We are also pleased to announce that because of the generous support of the James J. and Jacqueline A. McDonough Foundation, along with all of our host committee sponsors, we are excited to offer a challenge gift of $94,000 today. This means your donation of $500 becomes $1,000 and your donation of $1,000 becomes $2,000. By donating today, you will be doubling the impact of your gift. And as an extra special incentive, I am pleased to share this message with you from Opal Staples.
Opal here, and I have some really exciting news for you. Number one, your gift to the Alzheimer's Association is critical for Alzheimer's and dementia care, research, and support. So please give. Number two, the Illinois Broadcasters Association and an anonymous donor has completely sponsored a concert by yours truly for everyone who gives $500 or more. This is exciting news for me and for you. All you have to do is give $500 or more to Reason to Hope, and you will be welcomed to an exclusive concert with me on December 5th, where we stream live. You can watch it from your living room. You can mirror that sucker onto your TV and just sit back with a glass of wine and enjoy some good music, a sense of nostalgia, and some peace. I think it's worth $500. You were gonna donate anyway. Now here's a little incentive for you. Thank you, Illinois Broadcasters Association, and thank you, Anonymous Donor, for allowing this beautiful opportunity to be laid out to all of our wonderful donors. Won't you give today? The Alzheimer's Association appreciates your gift. All you have to do is donate $500 or more to a Reason to Hope, and then you can have an exclusive concert with me, and what more? Come on, it's me. What did you ask for? Won't you give today? A Reason to Hope, $500 or more, December 5th. I'll see you.
Okay, you have to admit, this is a concert you won't want to miss. Special thank you again to the Illinois Broadcasters Association, a partner with the Alzheimer's Association Silver Search Program, and an anonymous donor for underwriting the concert. If you haven't already, please go to reasontohope20.givesmart.com, or you can text Reason to Hope 20 to 76278 and make your gift. And if you have already made a donation, we thank you. And now that you've heard the need, the challenge gift, and the special incentive for $500, I sincerely hope you'll consider making an additional gift to support the Alzheimer's Association during this critical time. Every single dollar pushes the needle forward, and you help allow us to provide programs and support for those living with the disease today, and you provide hope for future generations that we can end this disease forever. I want to thank you again on behalf of the Alzheimer's Association, Doug and myself. Thank you for supporting our vision of a world without Alzheimer's and all dementia today.
Well, that brings us to the end of our lunch hour. And Marty, Doug, thank you so much. I want to give a special shout out to Opal Staples. She is of the famous legendary Staples Singers group from Chicago, she being the crown jewel. And she wrote that song, Remember Me. Amazing. Thank you all for joining us today and for your continued commitment and support. I hope you can all give something to the cause today. I know I was proud to make a donation in memory of my mom, whose ring I'm wearing, and in honor of my cousin who now suffers from the disease, albeit that December 5th concert. The truth is, no one knows who it's going to hit next, or when, or how swiftly. And you know what? We don't really have the luxury to wait and find out. Please support the research and the programs of the Alzheimer's Association and the Illinois chapter. On behalf of everyone at Alzheimer's Association Illinois chapter, we thank you. You give us a reason to hope. Take care, everybody.